This is exercise 1. To start off, open up the exercise 1 ePart and exercise 1 eDrawing file. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing some exercises from all the knowledge that we've learned before about drawing and views and whatnot. So for the next 3 exercises, what we're going to do is we're going to get a part, and this is our part for exercise 1. And what we're going to do is with the drawing file, we're going to match up faces on all 3 views. So before, what we learned about like the glass box and having your front, top, and right view, we're going to apply it into an exercise here. So the objective of this exercise is that from the projection or isometric view that we have in the top right corner, we're going to name the different faces, and in our front, top, and right view, we're going to associate those faces to the projection or isometric. So we can open up the eDrawing part and eDrawing file. So you have these open. With the part, you're able to move it around, give yourself a better idea if you can't see a view that you wanted to see. And I've also included PDF and JPEGs, so you're able to open them up and either print them out or edit them on your computer. So I've got one opened up here, and what we're going to do is we're going to begin to label the different faces. So the first thing we want to do is with our projection view is we want to label and mark the faces. So we'll start from up here. So we'll call this face A. We'll call this face here B. We'll call this one here C, D, E, F, G, and H. Now that we have all the faces in our isometric view defined, what we want to do is go through our front, top, and right view to associate these faces. Now before we start, what I want to do is just show you a technique just to, when you already have the views, just to align them to give you a better idea of how they're associated with each other. So as this is we can write the name down there. So we got the front, top, and the right. Now, as they're all going to be at 90 degrees, we're able to put dotted lines down, connecting the lines and faces. Now, doing so, we can see how these steps, in this case, all line up, and how they go about by changing. So in each of these views, you can see that we have squares here, and the sides here of these cubes here. Now as we go through each of these are going to be a different letter. So by putting the dotted lines, we're just able to give ourselves another visualization technique just to see where these are all connected and how we're kind of flipping everything around. So I'm going to go back to the blue, and we're going to start with the top view. So if we look at the top of this, we can see that this one here is A, this one here is B, and this one here is G. And as we go from the top to the front, we know that we are rotating that way, and you can see that our A will now be C, and that B is going to be D, and our G is still going to be G, as it's on the angle there. And again, if we just looked at it from the front, saying that this is like the front view, we can still figure out that we would have C, D, and G. Now if we flip this again, and we're going to go and flip it that way, we're going to see that our D is now F, our C is now E, and our G is now H. And now we've successfully defined each face and from each of the views. So in the next 2 tutorials we're going to do similar examples, and they're just going to be progressively more difficult. And from everything that we've learned before, what this is going to do is help us visualize when we have a part, when we're looking at the top, front, or right view, what we're actually looking at. So we're going to do 2 more tutorials coming up, 2 more exercises of these to give ourselves and train ourselves to visually see our part and the faces that are associated with it. And that concludes our exercise 1.